Michael Palermo has been here since 2001 as the head coach at Blue Springs. His 18th season here with the Wildcats. And full disclosure, he's also an assistant for Doug McLagan on the girls' side here at Blue Springs, where Doug is head coach and PE teacher. So we'll try and keep you as a neutral observer here today as Blue Springs takes on Oak Park.
I will be very neutral, I promise.
Always fun to watch high school boys soccer at a high level, no matter the rooting interests.
Absolutely. It should be a good one today. They're both, like I said before, very young, got good futures, and I think it'll be a very evenly matched game.
Blue Springs decked out in the gray jerseys, trimmed with purple. Oak Park in the blue trunks with the white tops. We're underway here from Blue Springs High School. Unique doubleheader here today. Blue Springs football team will host Lee Summit North. Planning on a 7 p.m. kick, as long as this one is wrapped up in regulation. Happy to bring you both games here on Spectrum Sports.
Not a bad ball into the box there by Jesse Haynes, looking for the forward, Adam Fensel, who's already got 3 goals on the season. Unfortunately, the ball ran into the keeper's hands and no opportunity for Blue Springs.
Mentioned an overtime win for Blue Springs earlier this week against Raytown. Oak Park suffered a heartbreaker in overtime, losing to North Kansas City School District rival Staley.
Yeah, I believe they tied the game up. I think Josh was saying with about 7 or 8 seconds left, made it 2-2, and then unfortunately got the third against them in overtime. So, 2 overtime teams coming on the field here tonight. One won it and one lost it, and they're both, I know, hungry for a win tonight.
Our first corner of the day. Blue Springs will put it in play. Good ball in, and that's dangerous right in front of the box. Ends up deflected out towards the corner once again, across the end line, and it will be an Oak Park throw.
Great tape. I think it was Haney that got on in the end, and it's 4 players on the line. They all come off the line, and Haney got a good header, good save by the keeper, and good reaction, second save by the keeper too.
Alec Lawson, a senior for Oak Park, minding goal for the Northmen. Puts it back in play for Oak Park. Ball on the far touchline. Here come the Northmen, now bringing it up towards midfield. Trying to get a build up and a little offense going for the first time today for the Northmen. Now wide on the right side. Nice ball in, looking for Cole Kaler. Headed away by Blue Springs. Now the Wildcats able to clear it out towards midfield. A little bit of a misplay there by the Oak Park midfielder, and now an offside whistle against the Wildcats.
A good opportunity there for Oak Park to attack, and the 2 numbers you're going to have to watch in midfield tonight, 9 and 10. I think they're called the Salgado brothers, and both sophomores too, as the forwards are both sophomores. So I think those 4 players, the 2 forwards and 2 midfielders, are the guys that are going to have to watch on Oak Park tonight for Blue Springs here.
Lawson able to come up and scoop it up at the edge of the box. Good punt all the way across midfield. Good touch for Jesse Haney. Now it's going to roll all the way back to the keeper, Jacob Williams.
Nice play by Blue Springs coming out of the back. It's always nice to see teams coming out of the back, playing the ball to feet. And they look quite comfortable on the ball doing that. And quite happy to knock the ball around, keep the ball, and then play penetrating passes like that. That's a beautiful ball.
Haney can't quite chase it down.
Just ran off the field.
Goal kick for Lawson. Samuel Salgado tried to head it. Missed it, but now he'll take a free kick here for the Northmen.
A little nudge in the back there from Lubin. And here's Lubin again.
Good defense in the midfield for Oak Park. Poked that one away. Marco Salgado handling now for Oak Park. This ball lane cut off by Haney. Now Marco Salgado plays it out for Samuel. On out to Austin Castor. And on the far side, it's A.J. King. Trying to make something happen, but taken away by Blue Springs. Now the Wildcats will try and play it forward. Turned right back over. Now Lubin with some space. Mejia now on the near side, has it taken away by Haney. Good idea there in the middle. Nobody home for Blue Springs. Now here come the Wildcats once again. Ball played out to the corner. Cross is deflected by Lawson and poked away. Not a full clearance for Oak Park. Lubin now will settle it.
Well done, Jason.
Mara fights and gains possession of it for Oak Park. Trying to through ball to Kaler and found his mark. Kaler with the ball at his feet. Spinning away from traffic. He's tripped up, no whistle.
It's a very good competitive game to start off with here. Both teams not afraid to knock the ball around and keep possession. The final ball today has not been, so far, has not been where they've wanted to be, but in the midfield, keeping possession, knocking the ball around, and if they can just get that final pass down, I think you're going to see some very good chances created soon in this game.
Blue Springs so far in the early going, a little bit better of the possession. There's a good through ball, flag stays down. Crosses right in to the gut of Alec Lawson, who fields it cleanly.
Yeah, and a not bad ball there in by Lamos into number 2, who is Austin McKellis, who's actually, has been playing defense so far this season. Palermo, for some reason, thought moving him up front today would cause Oak Park some problems, and it looks like he's doing that already. But like I said, for most of the season, he's played at center back.
Marco Salgado gets it to A.J. King, but taken away by Blue Springs. Here comes Lubin for the Wildcats. Plays it back for Haney. Haney able to work around the defense, taps it back to Lubin.
And again, another example of nice passing, and then just that final pass didn't come off quite. But like I said, knocking it around, creating opportunities. If they can just get that final ball where they want it to be, then they're going to create some opportunities, Blue Springs. Knocking the ball around the back very comfortably.
Wildcats play it all the way back to Jacob Williams. Williams thus far has not been challenged by the Oak Park offense. Blue Springs again controlling the possession.
Great ball there, again by Lamos.
Out wide, and again, the Blue Springs offense putting some pressure on Oak Park, but the Northmen able to clear it away.
Jason, go to the ball.
A bit of physical action there between Logan Bradley for Blue Springs and Jason Lara for Oak Park. And there comes a whistle. It's going to go against the Northmen. Bradley's had quite a few touches in the midfield so far for Blue Springs.
Just to show you, it is a physical game. A little bit of pushing, argy-barging. Logan Bradley doesn't agree with the call there, and unfortunately that's just the way it went against him. And good fighting for the ball. Both players fighting for the ball hard, but referee saw something that was slightly illegal there by Bradley.
I thought initially the call went against Oak Park, but
yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure how much was really in there as a foul, because like I said, both of them were pushing and shoving each other, and that's okay, but I guess he thought Logan Bradley was doing it a little bit more than the Oak Park player.
Throw is deflected off of Lara and out of play. So now Blue Springs will get possession.
It's a very dangerous ball across the back four, and Barajas got a lucky, he got a lucky break there because he overran it. If he would not have overrun that, that could have been very dangerous going in on goal.
Loaded by McKellips. And there's a turnover in a dangerous spot as now Blue Springs able to track it down on the far boundary. Taken away by Oak Park. Now the Northmen will try and get some transition game going. Samuel Salgado has his pass intercepted by Haney for Blue Springs. Now Bradley plays it ahead. Missed his target. Now Oak Park will retreat and retrieve the ball. Start their build-up with Lawson from the back. Back to Lubin, though.
Tackle! Yes, good tackle! Man! Let's go! You have me?
Blue Springs has had a couple of decent opportunities and the better of the possession so far, but we're still scoreless.
Yeah, they're definitely controlling the ball better. It just seem to have more numbers in areas than Oak Park does right now.
There's a shot from distance, high over the crossbar. Pretty good effort there from Blue Springs.
That's a great effort. I believe that was Hines. Yes, it was. Beautiful strike, but it was always rising above the bar, unfortunately. But nothing wrong with taking the effort there.
I will say the Blue Springs kits look very slick, but they're a little hard on us up here. It is hard to see the numbers.
I was just going to say that. Very nice uniforms, but yeah, picking out the numbers is not going to be easy for us.
Oak Park uniforms have the nice dark blue numbers on the white jerseys, a little easier to pick out, and it's kind of a dangerous ball. But King couldn't win the race to it, and now it will be a goal kick for Jacob Williams for Blue Springs.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous ball, but one thing you'll see from Barajas, he's got excellent speed, and most players probably wouldn't have recovered from this, but if you watch him, he covered that ground real quickly and stopped the number 4, which is AJ King, get to the ball there for Oak Park.
King can't believe it wasn't a corner for Oak Park, and on second look there, might have been correct.
Yeah, the referee gave a little nudge in the back again for a free kick.
Foul called on the play.
Switch it!
Another decent opportunity for Blue Springs.
Yeah, good attempt there again by Lamas to get through, just unfortunately couldn't keep the ball at his feet, and well cleared. It must have caught him on the way out because Oak Park gets the throw in.
Harder rain fell during warm-ups, but right now just kind of a light mist. Not bad soccer weather at all.
It's perfect soccer weather. Here's an opportunity for King again.
Again, King beaten to the ball by a Blue Springs defender. That time it was Haney able to chase it down, and now here Lubin will play it over to Haney. And in front of our camera at midfield. Good ball for Blue Springs, and McKellips still just hanging free at the top of the box. Oak Park unable to clear it, and now from pretty good distance away, a shot is tried and off the mark.
Yeah, long-range shot there from Eisenreich. It was the right option. Unfortunately, he didn't strike it well enough to get it on target. But again, good, nice, short little combinations by Blue Springs. Good goalkeeping there, little unorthodox. Came out with his feet first. Not a great clearance straight to Eisenreich there, but unfortunately for Eisenreich, he couldn't get the ball on target. So far, we're seeing a lot of ball control by Blue Springs, and I think one of the reasons you'll see that is they're playing a 4-4-2, but the four in midfield are in that diamond shape, so they're more central, which allows the fullbacks to get forward, whereas Oak Park's four midfielders are stretched from sideline to sideline. So in the middle, Blue Springs has got more numbers and showing that advantage right now by knocking the ball around and keep possession.
Now here's King with an opportunity, settles it at his feet, plays it back instead, and looked like Jason Lara wasn't quite ready for that decision from King. There's a free bouncing ball near the 6-yard box. Park unable to turn it into a shot attempt. Now here's a cross. And for the first time today, Jacob Williams has to do some work. Able to handle it cleanly, though. Best opportunity of the day, though, for Oak Park by far. Maybe for either team. That ball was at point-blank range right at his feet. Yeah, it was a good opportunity for 15, and I think they lost the ball, and he's the one back there on defense winning it back again, so he's working his tail off. But yeah, definitely the best opportunity of the game. Now chased down by Oak Park once again in the box. That was Cole Kaler who tried to chase it down, and Blue Springs player lost a shoe. I think that's Haney back there. Well, I don't know if you noticed it, but as he cleared it, that ball went, the shoe went about 20 foot in the air and fortunately didn't land on anybody's head. Went farther than the ball.
Yes, Marcus, well done.
Getting some back and forth action as Blue Springs has some momentum, and that is going to be a penalty kick, a trip in the penalty box.
Yeah, I'd have to see that one again. I mean, there was definitely a nudge on the ball. Whether it's a PK or not, I'm not 100% sure, but here we go. Let's take a look. He's ahead of the defender.
It looked like he went to ground on his own, honestly. Yeah, he went to ground really easily, and I guess there may have been a hand in his back. I'm not so sure that was or should have been called a PK, but you know what? I'm not standing 10 yards away from the ball either, and the referee was right there, so he must have seen something he thought was definitely a penalty kick. And here's Carlos Lamas stepping up. Scored a great free kick the other day. This is a little bit closer. We'll see how he does here.
Henry, all the way behind.
Lawson trying to defend. Unable as Lamas puts it in easily in the lower right corner. We'll come right back after Blue Springs jumps on top 1-0. 19th minute goal for Blue Springs as they convert a penalty kick as Carlos Lamas able to put it in after Wildcats drew some contact in the box.
I think overall it's fair to say probably Blue Springs has had the better run of play. And I think we're going to see the penalty kick here. Carlos Lamas you can see the keeper moving to the right already. Lamas already had made his decision where he was going. He just slotted it in the corner. It's a beautiful PK. That's now his 5th goal of the season. leading goal scorer for Blue Springs High School. So there has been a little change in Blue Springs lineup. McKellips, who started off at centre forward, has now moved back to his normal position, which is centre back, which means it looks like Malawat has moved to left back. And in fact, yes, there's been a sub too. Mohammed Rafat is back on up front, so he's up top now with Fensel.
Rafat has 3 goals on the year, so.
Yeah, he scored 3 goals, and fortunately, probably tactical move, but Palermo decided to go with a different look today, and you know, it's done well after 90 minutes, and now we're going back to the regular lineup that has taken care of business so far this season. McKellips going to the back, and Rafat going back up top.
He unable to chase that one down. The goal kick for Jacob Williams. Nearing the midway point of the first half. Blue Springs has struck first. They've had the better of the play thus far.
And I think the dominance has come, like we just said about 5 minutes ago, in the midfield. Right now, if you watch that goal kick, there was 4 Blue Springs guys sitting around the ball against 2 Oak Park. And just numerical advantage, and that ball's more than likely to fall to the 4, not the 2. And when that 4 have got the ball, they've pinged it around and kept possession and done very well with the ball.
Pretty good idea there by Kaler, but his teammate wasn't where he expected him to be. Oak Park able to keep possession, though, in the midfield.
Go on, quicker!
Salgado and Lubin battling for it. Salgado tried the through ball looking for Kaler. Blue Springs has had the better of it, but took advantage of a close call, we'll say, that awarded them a penalty kick. Carlos Lamas able to cash that in with a goal. His team best 5th goal of the year. Had a free kick that gave Blue Springs a victory in overtime against Raytown on Tuesday night. So team leading 5 goals, and also the last 2 for the Wildcats. And also he wanted us to mention a new haircut.
Yes.
Oak Park looking to attack the goal. Blue Springs able to take it away. Now the Wildcats looking for a transition opportunity, but a giveaway in the midfield. Gets it right back to the Northmen. Kaler. 2 goals, 2 assists coming in for the Oak Park sophomore. Showing some individual skill, able to get past the defender, and now create an opportunity for Mejia. He puts it on frame, but right off Jacob Williams, who was in excellent position to defend that shot, but a good effort from Kaler individually initially, and then Mejia with the shot.
Yeah, Cole Kaler's the guy that created it. Very, very nice left foot he has. Shielded the ball off from Haynes for a good old 30 seconds, got in behind him, pulled it back for Mejia. Mejia, that's his 2nd chance of the game, unfortunately put it straight into the goalkeeper's hands. But he's probably had the 2 best chances of the game. Unfortunately, they're down 0-1, but like I said, the 2 best chances have fallen probably to Oak Park.
First Mejia opportunity, kind of mishit it. It was right in front of goal. Didn't get a lot on it. That one he had pretty good pace. It was just right at the keeper, who was in excellent position.
Yeah, half a yard either side, and that's probably a goal. And then the first one was a tough one too, so he did well to get on it, but unfortunately, again, went straight to the keeper.
Oak Park looking for an equalizer. Blue Springs grabbed the lead. The 18th minute. Penalty kick from Carlos Lamas, his team leading 5th goal of the year. Lamas with the touch right at midfield. Plays it ahead, and now Blue Springs. Ball right near the top of the box, about 20 yards out. That pass was deflected. Will come all the way out to Haney. McKellips plays it forward to Lamas. That ball squirts through. Lawson has to come up and scoop it up.
I'm just looking there at Marco Salgado, the centre midfield for Oak Park. He's got his hands on his hips, extremely tired. And that again is probably going to come down to the numerical disadvantage they have in midfield. The guy just got the ball a couple minutes ago and he had almost 3 Blue Springs players around him in his face. And it just makes it so difficult for him to play. And he's had a great game so far. He's worked his tail off, but his hands are on his hips and he is tired right now.
Dom Zubek has checked in as well for Blue Springs. It's like a right midfield spot for Zubek. Logan Bradley with a touch. Blue Springs trying to save it over there on the far side, but couldn't keep it in play. And now throw in from about 20 yards out, and now a shot off his feet. Williams has to deflect it, kept it in play, and is able to retrieve it. That's a pretty good effort from distance for Oak Park.
That's a great effort, and who is it? Kaler again with that beautiful left foot he has, and a good flying save by Williams. He set him up well, hit it well, and that's a good save too by the senior for Blue Springs.
Now Blue Springs chasing the ball down the field.
Yeah, there's a claim for handball, but quite honest, that ball was driven into the arm of the defender. There's no way. Blue Springs are looking and calling for it, and he's going to talk to Lyons, but there's no way. 20's about 2 yards away, and he's just blasted on him. There's absolutely no intention there.
Noah Pinkerton was the defender right there, as Mo Rafat was the attacker for the Blue Springs Wildcats.
And I'm hoping the decision here is, no, it's a corner kick.
Looks like it will be a corner, but they're still discussing it.
That would be a little bit harsh for Paul Pinkerton if that was given against him, because I don't know how the heck he was supposed to get out of the way of that.
Clearly went off his hand. But
oh no, he did. That's disappointing.
You gotta be kidding me.
I just heard from the coach, you got to be kidding me, and I got 100% agree there.
Well, you're right. He wasn't 3 feet away. It didn't seem like.
Well, here's the deal.
Oh my God!
The thunderbolt shot here, and how is he supposed to get out of the way? And his hand is where his hand should be. It's not up in the air. It's not out trying to block a shot. I'm sorry, but I disagree with that call, and it's unfortunate for them because they've had 2 penalty kicks. That one, I think, definitely not, and the one before, questionable. Here's Lamas again. Where's he going to go this time?
Same spot. Awesome. Yes, the same way he did the first time. Lamas has cashed in twice on penalty kicks, and Lawson punted that one out near midfield in frustration.
And again,
Another
look where his arm is. It's where it should be. That's just really unfortunate. But this is, again, Lamas. Great finish. It's a carbon copy of what he did before. It's just disappointing, you know. I mean, it's been a really good game, really competitive game, and not that it won't be from now on, but you know, Oak Park goes now 2 goals down, and it's just a tough call, really tough call. Lamas is up to goal number 6 now. So it's important now that Oak Park, stays in it, because they've had a couple opportunities. In fact, like I said, they've had the 2 best opportunities of the game. So if they could get one here before the half, they're still in this game. There's plenty of time left. They've just got to make sure they keep the spirits up. One thing Coach Howard said before the game was that they don't have a great deal of depth, and so most of the players that are playing now are going to play most of the game. So fatigue is going to be a little bit of a factor for Oak Park, less of a factor for Blue Springs, because they do have some players they do bring off the bench.
Kaler again showing his power, just absolutely blasted one, but right off a Blue Springs defender. Be a throw for the Northmen. Blue Springs last year 0-19, just 1 year and 1 win in 2016. But off to a 2-2 start this year. And a 2-0 lead in this game. Still a young team with room to improve. Oak Park was 12-10-1 a year ago, 18-6-1 a couple of years ago when they were quite strong back in 2016.
Unfortunately, a lot of programs you get that where you have a couple, 2, 3, 4 years where you're really good, and then you have a couple down years, and it's a fight, So for the last 2 years, it's been tough for Mike Palermo, but now, obviously he's got a situation here where he's going to win some games, and he's got a good team that plays some good soccer.
Hey, watch the big throw.
So I guess patience is the word.
How much can one great individual player help make a difference in whether you're good or great?
It can make a big difference, but the other one good player has to have players around him. One player on his own cannot do it. Can do it every now and then, but not consistently over the full season against good teams. And but they certainly can help, that's for sure.
Cover ball ahead, but Oak Park able to get it back. Here's Mejia. Give and go, looking for Salgado. It was Kaler in the middle of the field, had it taken away, wanted a foul.
Good defending there. Logan Bradley had lost the ball, but immediately came back and won the ball back there, and so makes a mistake, but then quickly corrects it. Here's Kaler again.
Detrevon Wallace, a senior, is checked in for Oak Park as this ball will be played by Lawson. Got there first. The Blue Springs attacker went tumbling over him.
That was excellent goalkeeping, because he got whacked by the forward, but showed a little bit of, he got whacked. But sometimes that's what goalkeepers do. They're a little crazy. They come out and put their head where most people wouldn't. And he was very, very brave to do that there. Made a great save.
Rafat was the player ahead for Blue Springs. Here's Detrevon Wallace with a touch for Oak Park. Coach Howard told us the 11 he started might play the whole way, but Wallace is checked in. To your point earlier about Coach Howard limiting a little bit of a lack of depth for his squad.
Yeah, he realizes they're young and he lacks a little bit of depth. So the problem is here with Blue Springs possessing the ball as much as they do, there's a lot of running and chasing by Oak Park. So they're going to have to get some rest. So he's going to have to use some players. Here's Lamas again, great skill.
Did Wallace get away with a handball there? Now a shot from distance. Lawson has to punch it away. And a good play by Oak Park's Marcus Felton, the defender, blasting it out of play, so it's a throw and not a corner.
Yeah, all started by that little flair, that little creativity by Lamas, who got it out, and Malawat struck that ball, as we're looking at him right there, struck that ball really, really well, and that's a fantastic save. That's a great strike, placed, and good save by the keeper.
Was on frame. That was one of the best shots of the day for Blue Springs. Wildcats have 2 goals, both coming on Carlos Lamas penalty kicks. Both of them kind of, there's another shot towards Lawson. Plays that one away and is able to chase it down, but a couple of good shots from distance for Blue Springs.
Another good strike. I think that was from Logan Bradley. That's a good 25, 30 yards out. And dangerous for the keeper because, like you said, it's rained a little bit, and I think it's raining right now. And that ball almost slipped through his hands, and that would have been because of the wet ball and the wet surface, but did very well to get his hands behind it. And another good save by Lawson, which doesn't shock us. Coach Howard warned us before that he's definitely probably the most experienced player on their team and has been a starter for 3 years for Oak Park. So the saves he's making, no shocks. He's a really good goalkeeper.
Alawat plays it across, looking for Bradley. Lubin. Play it all the way back to defender Alex Barajas. Barajas chested it down, able to settle it, play it over to the wide side. Ball in, deflected away, but right back to the top of the box where a shot is blasted by Blue Springs. Carlos Lamas.
Unfortunately, it came back to him real quick, so he had a snap at it, and unfortunately, I think he was slightly behind the ball, and so that ball was always rising. He'd love to have that one back because that could have been the old hat trick there if he would have got it on target. And one thing you'll see now with Blue Springs being up 2-0 and knocking the ball around, he's able to get 3 or 4 subs in and to rest some of his starting players. Has a little bit more, can afford to do that, whereas Oak Park, maybe like we said, does not have the depth and not necessarily allowed to do that, which means these players have got to get on there and play good old 80 minutes, and that's tough against a team that's pinging the ball around like Blue Springs is right now.
Kaler drew a foul. Oak Park get the free kick from midfield. Salgado down the right side. Playing it into the box. Kaler settles it at his feet. Finds the low left corner of the goal for the first score of the day for Oak Park as the Northmen draw within 2-1. Kaler has threatened all day. Cashes in that time.
Oh, very, very dangerous. So great ball in the box. I think it took a deflection, yes. Brought it down. Got a lucky bounce off the defender, but you could see as soon as he saw that ball bounce, he knew exactly what he was doing. He just kind of toe poked it in. And that is a goal scorer. You see it opening, poke it in, it's in the back of the net. And Blue Springs is going to have to keep an eye on him because he has been very dangerous the whole game.
No chance for Williams, the goalkeeper there. Point blank range from Kaler, he was not going to miss.
So with six minutes left, he's brought them into the game, and there's a lot of hope now for Oak Park. A lot of this game to go here.
Daniel, take it.
And one thing I do see here from Coach Howard, it looks like they've really put Kaler up top, and they started the game with a 4-4-2 with a flat 4 in midfield. It looks like they're playing a 4-5-1 now, which means they put an extra player into midfield, which is going to help with that 4 that kind of Blue Springs are playing in. So now the numbers are a little bit closer, and so now Blue Springs may not dominate the midfield as much as they have done in the first 34 or 33 minutes. It looks like that extra player is number 16, who is
Detrevon Wallace.
Yes, Wallace. So now you're looking at the Salgado brothers and Wallace in midfield against that diamond 4 that Blue Springs has.
Kaler again trying to create for Oak Park. Bounces right back to King, and now from distance, Mejia puts it on frame. Williams able to dive and stop it.
That's his 3rd shot of the game now. He's obviously picks up chances around the box. Unfortunately, he hasn't finished any of them, but eventually, if he keeps going, he's going to get one sooner or later, you would think.
Now Mejia with some high pressure, and Oak Park able to take it back in the midfield. Wallace plays it ahead for Kaler. Haney did a good job of marking Mejia on the left side. Prevented him from getting the ball, but now Salgado makes a nice move. His cross unable to find Kaler. Kaler looking a little frustrated. His transition opportunity for Blue Springs, but the Northmen had enough players back to prevent Lubin from doing damage, and now back the other way come the Northmen. Kaler with the ball at his feet. Pretty good individual skill there, but Malawat, good defense for Blue Springs. Now Mejia plays it back to Salgado. That's Samuel Salgado, who wears number 10. As we presume his brother, number 9, Marco Salgado. Now, lofted shot by Kaler is on frame, but not a difficult save for Jacob Williams.
So Oak Park's, there's only 3 minutes left for half, but they've crept back into this game and now dominating the possession a little bit here. And I think a lot of it is to do with the great decision by Josh Howard to put in that 3 players in midfield and battle against the 4 of Blue Springs. And now they're starting to compete, they're starting to get more possession and creating opportunities.
Way to be there. Whoa.
Lamas has it poked away. Marco Salgado plays it to Wallace. Wallace lofting it ahead, but Blue Springs defensively able to track it down and regain possession, but then a errant pass is going to go out of play. So a turnover for the Wildcats. Just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half. The only goal in the course of play has come from Oak Park. And Cole Kaler, his 3rd of the year. He's got 2 assists as well on the season. Blue Springs has cashed in 2 Carlos Lamas penalty kicks, his 5th and 6th goals of the year. Nearly a very bad turnover there. Oak Park fortunate that bounced hard off of Dom Zubek. Otherwise, he kind of had an empty path to the goal with nothing between it but he and Alec Lawson. Good move on the far side by Salgado. Lubin flicks it over. Now here come the Wildcats with 90 seconds to play. Dangerous play by the keeper off his line. And that might be a yellow.
Well, it's outside the box, and he's going away from goal, so it's not stopping a goal scoring opportunity, so it should be a yellow, I think. Yeah, here it comes. Fortunately for the goalkeeper, the forward had touched the ball and it was going towards the corner flag because it's going away the goal, not stopping a definite goal scoring opportunity. So McPhillips just gets his toe to it, and that is a foul and that is a yellow card. Absolutely, no question about it. And hopefully McPhillips will be okay.
Yeah, just excessive contact there. Phillips definitely still in some pain. Took some pretty hard contact to that right ankle and shin area.
Yeah, well, he was moving at pace and the goalkeeper was coming out at pace, so that's quite a big collision there, and he was flying out with his feet first. Very dangerous challenge. Looks like he caught him pretty well there.
I believe McKellips hurt, not injured. Obviously hurting, though.
This will give us an interesting free kick, top of the box with basically a minute left. I'm sure you're going to see Lamas on the ball here. It'd be interesting whether he's going to take a shot on goal or clip it into that danger area and hopefully that someone can get it on the end of it. But Oak Park's going to have to defend this set piece and be alert, because the worst thing that can happen now is for Blue Springs to go 3-1 up in the last minute before the half.
Yeah, if you're Oak Park, you battled back. 2 penalty kicks allowed, both of them a little questionable, one maybe more than the other. You've gotten back into the match. You definitely don't want to concede one here late. McKellips maybe a bad sign there, not putting any weight at all on that right foot, and has to come off. Now Lamas, as you mentioned, from a dangerous spot just off the corner of the box.
I think he's going to go for goal here. Yep.
And it goes off the crossbar.
Hey, Marky man.
Good effort, but again, a good save there, because, you know, I mean, he could have tried to catch it, but with a wet ball, punching it and parrying it over the bar was the right decision. And now we got an opportunity for a corner kick.
In between him and Alex.
Like it hit the crossbar and then the goal, the football crossbar as well.
Yeah, football crossbar, yeah, and then came back to the white crossbar maybe, yeah.
Remember what they do, they come out.
Lamas put some pace on that one, and now a corner opportunity for the Wildcats.
Away!
And headed.
Ow! Henry!
Dangerous there for Oak Park.
Henry, you're fine.
They keep it from going in the back of the net. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds.
Maybe one more chance. Instead of playing it into the box, they play it short to Lubin.
Out of the box!
And now this one goes off the top of the crossbar.
Wow, what a great effort there by, I think it was Malawat. From a good 40 to 50 yards out, I think, hit the crossbar, and then a header from Mohamed Rafa just went wide, and that should be the half, I think.
Scary times for Oak Park in the waning moments of that first half.
Here's the first attempt. It should have been cleared, but not sure how. Ooh. Gave away the corner kick there, and then from that, let's see if he kicked it out. And yeah, he kicked it out. A little bit dangerous, but got away with it, gave the corner up. And then from there came that bullet from Malawat that hit the crossbar, and a headed attempt from Mohamed Rafat.
There's that shot from Malawat. That was from long range. Crushed the crossbar, and then almost a header attempt for Blue Springs there. So Oak Park in the last 80 seconds of the first half really had to dodge some bullets, but they managed to make it to halftime, trailing just 2-1. They got the last goal as Cole Kaler scored the goal for Oak Park. Carlos Lamas, the 2 goals for Blue Springs on penalty kicks. It's 2-1 at halftime on Spectrum Sports. Back just in time for us to get underway here with the opening kick of the second half. Blue Springs leading 2-1. Still a little bit of mist falling, but looks like maybe some more rain is moving this way.
Starting to get a little chillier, that's for sure, but I don't see any rain as of right now, so like I said, perfect soccer weather.
A little more of a mid-October feel here in Kansas City on this Friday night, but luckily the forecast not really calling for any storms or things that might cause us not to get our games in. Again, Blue Springs hosting Lee Summit North. So for some Friday night lights, we got Friday night light soccer style here on a doubleheader today. It's fun putting this together in the summer. Blue Springs, thanks them so much for being receptive hosts to kind of an interesting idea to have soccer team play on a Friday before the football team.
It's a great idea. It would have been great to get a big crowd here for the soccer guys, but the weather hasn't helped at all, has it?
No, it hasn't a lot. And one ticket purchase did get you into both matches today, both the soccer match and the football game later. So we might see some folks trickle in for the second half.
But looks like we're seeing pretty much more of what we saw in the first half. Same lineup, 4-4-2 with a diamond for Blue Springs, and it looks like Oak Park's come out in that 4-5-1 for the second half, which worked real well in the last 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Seen Oak Park have a little trouble with clearances today. Saw it in the highlights. See it again right there.
21. Way to be there, Noah. Away!
Good way to be there, Noah. That was Noah Pinkerton who got called for that handball earlier. Lawson couldn't get it, so Wamis is able to track it down to the corner, still keeping it alive. Good defense, though, by Austin Kester for Oak Park. Now ball cleared all the way out to midfield. Alawat. Lubin on the far side. Works around Pinkerton. Back to Lubin. Now Pinkerton. So much clear it upfield as all the way across the field. Goes out on the near side touchline, and it'll be a throw in for Blue Springs.
Might be looking at a long throw again here from Fensel. Last time they got a long throw with a flick on it, which caused a few problems here for Oak Park. See if it does it again. Here comes Fensel.
Good throw, this time headed away by A.J. King for Oak Park. Kept in by Haney, but now cleared by Pinkerton. Good play by Mejia to take that ball away. Now Mejia looking for Kaler. Taken away by Blue Springs. Good through ball, but pretty good defense by Pinkerton, but able to keep it is Rafat.
Very good play there by Logan Bradley. First of all, to win the ball on defense. Nice little footwork to get out of a tight situation. And then he was the guy also that played the penetrating pass there for Mo Rafat to go after the ball, and that created another throw-in. And here we go, Fensel looking for Rafat's head again.
Instead finds Samuel Salgado's head.
Yeah, he's had two throws that have been short, and the Blue Springs players have probably been 5 or so yards away. They might want to move a little bit closer next time, because that throw's not going as far as they're anticipating.
Similar start to what we saw at the beginning of the first half, where Blue Springs really having the go of it in the early parts of the half.
Yeah, they like to knock it around and keep possession. It's going to be a little bit harder here with the numbers against them with Oak Park this time. Won't be as easy as it was first half, but they're certainly going to attempt to do it again. And they've done very well with it throughout the game.
Taylor challenging Malawat. Blue Springs able to keep possession. Salgado takes it away at midfield. His ball ahead for Kaler was just a little off the mark. Just my observation so far, Kaler looks like a pretty emotional player. Kind of wears those emotions on his sleeve a bit at times. A little frustrated with his teammate there, missing that pass.
Yeah, typical forward. There you go.
Good idea by Wallace, but nobody there for Oak Park. It'll trickle all the way down to Williams.
Yeah, he's that typical forward. If I don't get the ball to my feet, I'm not happy with you. But when he's had the ball at his feet, he's been very dangerous, so he might be right.
Get away in the back half, and now Kaler tripped up.
Yeah, yellow card. Unfortunately, Bradley lost the ball, turned it over, chasing back to Kaler, and accidentally, I think, clipped his ankle. But yeah, he's going to get a yellow card because Kaler was off to take on the back four there, and could have been causing some problems. Yeah, it's a foul and a deserved yellow, although Bradley's not happy with that because he's going to have to leave the field for a few minutes.
Now from about 26 yards out, it'll be a free kick for the Oak Park Northmen.
And I got a feeling Samuel Salgado will be hitting this.
Blue Springs sets up the wall.
So the question is going to be, is he going to hit it with power, or is he going to try and get that ball up and over the wall to maybe end up in the bottom of the right corner? Right corner as the goalkeeper looks.
The big goes in the wall, not the small. No, I get the wall. Back wall.
Blue Springs trying to get the right people in the wall. They want the tall people, they don't want the small people. They're trying to get, I think it's Eisenrich right on the end because he happens to be the tallest. Now they're organised. Let's see what Salgado can do from this, because I think he's definitely going for goal.
Gonna make him back up a couple yards. I thought they were a little close.
Yeah, you're still good, bro. You're still good.
Gonna give you the free kicker 10 yards. Now, after a little bit of a delay, we're ready to go. Salgado kind of stutters, starts just a bit high over the crossbar.
He went for power, and unfortunately the ball, he struck it well, but it was just rising, and unfortunately just crept over that crossbar. Yeah, always missing, but good effort.
Hit the football crossbar, second time that's happened today. Ball at the feet of Wallace. Lubin. Now he'll play it ahead to Lamas.
Oh, what a ball.
Nice through ball.
Yeah, get the idea from Fensel, but unfortunately a little bit too far towards the goalkeeper. He was looking for that diagonal ball into Rafat. But great initial ball there from Lamas again. He definitely is the creator for Blue Springs, and when he's on, he's on. He's very good. So we're seeing a little bit different here from Oak Park. Oak Park's kind of allowing them to play it from the back, but when they come into that midfield, then they're ready to put full pressure, and they've been successful because they've had a couple turnovers like this in this area that, if you get possession here, it's going to be very dangerous for Blue Springs.
Oh, Kaler, a brilliant backflip. Salgado couldn't quite settle it. If he could have pulled the trigger quickly, might have had a chance, had a shot there. Clever play by Kaler.
Yeah, we're talking creativity with Lamas. Well, there's some creativity there from Kaler. That was beautiful. And he,
he's almost needed to one-time it there, didn't he?
He could have one-timed it, or his first touch just went a little bit too far ahead of him, took him away from the goal and gave him a poor angle. If his first touch would have been good, he could have been striking ball, and it could have been 2-2. We could have been in for an interesting second half here.
Is a corner opportunity, first of the day for Oak Park. One-time attempt there by Oak Park right at the top of the box. Salgado will play it right to the top of the 18-yard box. This hit from Wallace, and Kaler can't track it down.
Yeah, Wallace did very well to bring that down with the chest. It's a beautiful turn with his chest. Unfortunately, I think his eyes got a little bit too big, swung at it, and unfortunately mishit it. But tremendous initial skill to get that ball down.
He knew he had missed an opportunity too. Hands went on the head as soon as it got out of play.
Here's the ball in there by Salgado. Brought it down brilliant, but almost tried to put too much power. Like I said, his eyes got wide open thinking, ooh, here's an opportunity. If he'd have made a clean contact, maybe be on target.
Now cleared away by Blue Springs. Park held it in momentarily, but now here come the Wildcats. Nearly a giveaway, though. Got it back, and now Lamas with the ball at his feet at midfield. Plays it ahead for Fensel. Challenged the whole way by Felton. Wind picking up here at Blue Springs. Definitely making the chill in the air a little more noticeable. Hard to tell that there's still some moisture falling, but all the umbrellas are still out down here in the crowd, so it's still a pretty decent little bit of rainfall still coming down here at Blue Springs. See if the quarterbacks later on tonight are able to handle a wet football. Wallace a little strong with that touch. It bounces right back to Blue Springs. Wildcats football team will host Lee Summit North coming up next. 7 o'clock kick. They say Fensel's onside. Lays it all the way across and just a little bit too far out in front of Zubek, who is able to track it down before it goes out of play. That's going to trickle across the end line. Blue Springs football team coming off a loss, Doug. They suffered a tough loss to Rockhurst when they had a lot of trouble getting anything going offensively. Looking to bounce back here tonight against a 2-0 and much improved, now state-ranked Lee Summit North team. Kevin White and Therese Paler will have the call of that game coming up. Our Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week doubleheader from Blue Springs continues at 7 o'clock. Football team will take about an hour to warm up, so no matter when we go off, it'll be about an hour before we come back for the football matchup. Dangerous ball right here in the box for Blue Springs. Lubin. His shot was blocked by Felton.
Yeah, good defending there by Oak Park. Logan Bradley wanted to turn and get that shot off. He took about 8 to 10 yards trying to do that, but the defender would not let him turn, and when he finally struck it, great block. So tremendous defending there by Oak Park. We weren't expecting too much of this, but Oak Park just made a sub. Looks like Mejia just went off for a little break, maybe to get a little air back in. I'm sure we'll see him back on the field pretty soon.
You ready? That's a show.
I heard Oak Park coaches wanted a trip as Pinkerton was tripped up momentarily. No whistle. Now Lawson punts it away all the way down the field. Headed by Blue Springs. Hines right there in the area for the Wildcats, but it ends up being Oak Park's A.J. King who comes down the right sideline. Nice ball looking for Salgado, but just a little bit too far out in front of him, and Blue Springs able to take it away defensively. Hines plays it forward for Lubin. Liam McCork is right there for Oak Park. It's his first action of the day. He's the one that came in for Mejia. McCork, a junior midfielder for the Northmen. Out of bounds, it'll be a throw in for Blue Springs. Confusion for the Wildcats as to who's going to take the throw, and now it'll be we'll be ready for play. 26 minutes left. No scoring so far here in the second half. 2 first half penalty kicks for the Blue Springs Wildcats. Has them in front 2-1. Carlos Lamas with his 5th and 6th goals of the year from the penalty spot. Cole Kaler scored in the first half for Oak Park in the 34th minute. Cork has it taken away by Lubin. Numbers back for Oak Park. And Pinkerton only able to clear it a little ways, and now a header is just off the post.
Yeah, we got an offside call there, but lovely skill there by Caden Hines just to get the ball out wide. I think Little mishit it. Let's see, that's a great ball there by Caden Hines. Yeah, that's a miss hit. And hit the post with a header, but started in an offside position. Again, brave to put his head in there. I think he took a good little punch there for the keeper.
Pratt was slightly offside. Wildcats have it back. They're building up on their side of midfield. Now Salgado, a little miss hit there. All at the feet of Johnny Little. It's Little that mishit the shot that ended up right at the head of Rafat. Now he's going to switch balls at still enough water falling that the ball is quite wet. Haven't seen it skid too bad on the field. I don't think the field is overly saturated.
No, I don't think it is at all, but Blue Springs having a lot of, finding it harder in this second half to keep possession in that midfield. And it's some great work by the two brothers and also 16. The pressure on the ball has been fantastic, just making it harder for Blue Springs to knock the ball, because they like to ping it around and get it out to the fullbacks, and they're not getting as clean as possession as they were in the first half. So great, good job by the coaching staff of Oak Park here to step up and come up with a game plan to put a little bit more pressure on the midfield of Blue Springs and make this game harder for them.
Problem for Oak Park is they've been unable to really generate many offensive chances on the other end of the field.
Yeah, but when they do, they are dangerous, and we've seen that. We saw that in the first half. They didn't create a lot, but they did create probably the best chances of the half. So as long as they can stay in it, they've always got a good chance here.
Dangerous spot for Blue Springs. Cleared out, and it'll be a Fensel throw-in. Oak Park looking for the equalizer. Just over 22 minutes to get it.
First two.
Now Little plays it back for Barajas. Unable to connect with Hines.
There's a difference. You'll see every pass they're playing in the second half is contested and under pressure from Oak Park. And in the first half, that wasn't the case. They're not getting to do what they want to do or what they got away with in the first half. So excellent defending here from Oak Park. Probably going to take a little creativity to break down this back four of Oak Park here and get through the midfield. Right now, the creative man, Mr. Lamas, is not on the field. So they're going to be looking for other players maybe to do that. And Lubin, I've been very impressed with him today. He's worked hard. He's very good on the ball. And he's had a very, very good game for Blue Springs. Maybe he might be the guy that unlocks the defense of Blue Springs here. Or of Oak Park, sorry.
Now King with the ball at his feet. He'll send it ahead for Kaler, who stays onside. Cole Kaler one-on-one. Fired it at the goal. Sent it wide.
Yeah, that attempt was a little bit far out. Not on his best foot either. But to be honest, it was him against four Blue Springs players. So he was kind of on his own. And playing that one man up front now, he's probably going to find him in that situation quite often. First half, he had a partner alongside him. Now he's pretty much on his own there. And did the best he could.
Get there, Katie.
Castor will throw it in for Oak Park. Kaler flicks it forward with his head. Mejia will be unable to really track it down.
There's an example again, you know, flicked on by Kaler in the first half. He may have had a runner behind him. Now when he flicks on, he's flicking on to nobody, and ball just runs out of bounds. Logan Bradley just made sure he saw it run out of bounds off the field, and no danger. But it is making it hard for Blue Springs. So they're defending real well. Eventually, I think Coach Howard is going to, you know, maybe last 10, 15 minutes, maybe go back to two up top and because at some point he's going to have to chase this game. But right now he's keeping them in it, and right now that's a good thing.
Offside.
Nice attempt at a little give and go there by Rafat and Fensel, but unfortunately Rafat was offside again.
Flag went up on the far side. Lawson will take the free kick. Lawson has conceded just the 2 penalty kicks from Carlos Lamas in the first half. They'll sit there from Castor. Give it back over to Blue Springs. Little will throw it in. Northmen looking for 1 or 2 good opportunities here. The last half of the second half. Salgado draws a foul. No, they made that adjustment, dropping a forward back more into the midfield spot, but as time winds down, do they reverse that adjustment again or try and send more guys forward?
Well, if it stays as it is, eventually yes, but like I said, by doing that, they're keeping it as it is. They're making it hard for Blue Springs. Still that 1-goal deficit, so maybe last 10-15 minutes, Coach Howard says, all right, let's go 2 up front and let's go gamble, because you obviously got to get that second goal to bring them back into the game. But right now, they're in there. I mean, the game is poised, the balance is poised. Could go either way here. Blue Springs gets the next goal, it's going to open this game up. If Oak Park does, we got a game on our hands.
Oh. Lawson able to save it while on his side.
I'm not sure how much Lawson knew about that. But in the end, that's a great save because he got his body in the way. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Hines that striked it. Great ball in again from Lamas. Yeah, it's Hines, and he just turned and hit it, and the goalkeeper's just in the right spot at the right time.
If he'd have got it a foot in the air, it would have been an easy goal. Oak Park has dodged some pretty good chances from Blue Springs. Still have not allowed a goal in the regular course of play.
The big thing is they're still in it. There's no question. They're still in this game, and this last 16 minutes could be very interesting. Who's going to hit next? Are Blue Springs going to get that 3rd goal, or Oak Park going to sneak a 2nd one in?
Lamas is back in, sends a pretty good through ball ahead. But it's going to be Joel Diaz who chases it down for Oak Park. Now the Northmen's A.J. King send it forward. Blue Springs going to let it go out of bounds. Barajas will throw it in for the Wildcats. Wallace to Salgado. Plays it ahead for his brother. Marco Salgado.
Get it down, Katie. Go with it.
Now Lamas with the ball at his feet for Blue Springs after an Oak Park turnover. Just a little heavy on the touch, and it ends up being cleared away by Diaz. Mejia after a pretty good ball ahead for Oak Park. Able to chase it down in the corner, looking for help. Salgado arrives. Pass for him was just a little off the mark and stolen away by Blue Springs, but right back is Oak Park. Another intercepted pass.
Yeah, Oak Park's been up there a couple of times, and unfortunately, the last pass has been given away. Else they could have been creating opportunities there. A couple good chances, and unfortunately just gave away a simple pass. And unfortunately, Blue Springs got to hold it, and now they're up the other end, and the pressure's away from Blue Springs goal.
If there are that many interceptions later tonight on this field, Kelly Donahoe is going to hope it's his team making them, not throwing them.
That would be nice.
We'll have Blue Springs, Lee Summit North coming up at 7 o'clock.
We have a yellow card. I'm not sure exactly what it's for. Oh, that's what it's for right there.
We're fat.
He took his shin guards out, and that is a no-no. Yeah, that's illegal to do that. And secondly, silly too. You get a good kick on your shin and could have a broken shin. Well spotted by the linesman, I guess.
Watch the flick. AJ, watch the flick.
So
might have had a little help from the Oak Park side as well.
yeah, they probably said, hey.
I heard somebody say, I told you he wasn't wearing them.
Well done. Way to hustle, Cole. Get rid of it. Well done, Cole.
Well done by Malawat there, because if that got through me, was off to the races. That's the ball coming from that left-back position, coming from your centre forward, Kaler. So they really need him to be up the other end of the field.
Ball fought for, and Kaler ends up with it. Pinkerton's going to come ahead and throw it in for Oak Park. Northmen with 13.5 minutes and change to work with. Down 2-1. No goals scored yet. Ball is obviously slick. Pinkerton had it fall out of his hands before he could even try the throw. Oak Park challenging a little more. And the Blue Springs back. Going more of that high pressure with time running out.
Yeah, you can see that the pressure that Oak Park is putting on is tremendous. Midfielder non-stop in the face, giving them no time. Blue Springs is going to have to be careful because they've done it a lot in the second half. They've given a couple turnovers in their own midfield, and that's where you're going to have problems, because if you're doing that and then Oak Park's running at you, then you've got that man Kaler that's caused problems all day. So they're going to have to be careful with the ball. They've done very well keeping possession. It's important for this next 12 or so minutes that they make their passes count and do not create any turnovers in their, especially in their own defensive third.
The ball ahead for Little, but unable to keep it in play. It'll be an Oak Park throw.
Stay behind him. Left foot.
Kaler turns. Kept it. Kaler. That guy's to his left. Oh, almost a misplay there by Williams.
There's a big, massive miscommunication there by the fullback. I think it's Haney and the goalkeeper, Williams. Haney played the ball back, and Williams was coming out to get it, and that was almost disaster for Blue Springs.
Now will be a corner kick for Oak Park. It'll
this
be
goes out now.
Samuel Salgado taking it.
Boy! Both here! Johnny, mark someone! Up top, Johnny, up top! Turn, Cats! Over.
Lifts it into the air just a little bit too much on the cross. Marco Salgado had it for a moment. Now it's played back in for Oak Park as the rain is a little more steady now, falling here at PV Stadium.
Hey, watch the big throw, boys! Watch the big throw!
Pinkerton's going to throw it in from the far side.
Alex, 13, you gotta
So looking for that long throw with a flick at the front post.
That was an illegal throw.
Headed away, but out of bounds across the end line. It'll be another corner for Oak Park.
This goes out!
Samuel Salgado will try this time from the other side.
Hey, 16! Turn, boys! Damn!
Again, just a little too strong and over everybody for Salgado. Oak Park tried to keep it from going out, but unable to. And It'll be a Blue Springs goal kick.
Yeah, it was a nice floated ball in there, like you said, though. It just beat all the Oak Park players, unfortunately, and ran out of bounds. But a nice floated ball in there from Salgado. So 10 minutes left, and you can feel Oak Park is pushing this game now. They're going to take some chances. It could open some things up at the back for them that could cause some problems. But they're definitely going to push it last 9 or 10 minutes here.
Little McCork racing for it, and it's going to be McCork winning the battle. McCork's a big kid.
He is a big kid.
More of that goalie type frame, maybe. He's given them valuable minutes here in the second half. Showed off his speed there.
Coming in, Marcus. Well done.
Salgado ahead to Kaler. Now McCork in space on the right. Was covered up by a Blue Springs defender, so Kaler went the other way. Now Mejia. Played it ahead looking for Wallace. Just missed on the connection. Under 9 minutes to play. All are scoring from the first half. 2 penalty kick goals for Blue Springs. Cole Kaler goal for Oak Park after trailing 2-0. So far, though, Oak Park has been denied the equalizer. And they're running out of time. Salgado, sliding challenge by Lamas. Now Lamas back with it at his feet, turned it over. Wallace just a little too far out in front of Salgado with that pass. Bradley sends a ball forward. Hines to Lamas. Lamas almost broke through. And Oak Park, Austin Castor just kind of has to send it away to avoid doing more damage.
Good defending because Lamas was almost through there, looking for his third. Blue Springs likes to get their fullbacks involved, but I just heard a big call there from Coach Palermo. Hold your run, Johnny. So normally those fullbacks would go forward and attack and attack and attack. Last 7 or 8 minutes, he wants his fullbacks to hold a little bit and keep numbers back there. Here comes Fencer with a long throw.
Well done.
Good effort to try and save it, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Oak Park. Fensel tried to save it.
Here comes Jason Lara, the other forward, so it looks like they're probably going to the 2 up top now. Yep, he's going to hang up there with Kaler. And I thought he might have done this a little early because only 6.5 minutes or so left. But they're going back to the 2 up front. It may even look like a 3 up front.
It's Castor who's going to come out. He was all set to throw it in. Salgado kind of mishit that header, and now Blue Springs able to throw it in. Little triggering. Good ball ahead for Hines. Lawson has to come up and pluck a dangerous ball out of the air. Good punt ahead. Oak Park's got several players there battling for it. Marco Salgado settles it.
Thank you, Logan. Yes, Logan. Stick with it.
Salgado gets it back. Oak Park with numbers forward. 5.5 to play. A shot from distance off the crossbar.
What a tremendous effort there, and I think that's Mejia, cutting inside, taking a couple extra touches, and smacking it against the crossbar. Let's have a look at that. It is Mejia, yeah. Cuts inside, does well to get inside the fullback, and that is a bullet. And the crossbar just saved Blue Springs big time there. So he has made an adjustment. It's late in the game, but he's gone to 3 backs, so it looks something like a 3, it could be a 3-5-2 right now he's playing in, so he's still got the numbers in midfield, but taking a risk at the back, which you have to with 5 minutes left. They've got to get that second goal.
Pinkerton able to chase it down. Taps it out of play. Blue Springs will have a throw-in.
I don't think there'll be any rush to take a quick throw in here. Run a few seconds off the clock. It's a good throw. Zubek almost got it. And a good opportunity for Hines, unfortunately didn't catch it cleanly.
Send it wide, and Lawson will be in a bit of a hurry to put this ball back in play. It's just over Lamas's head. Now it's Salgado. Has to play it back. Little comes up and steals it away. Lubin. That's Blue Springs controls, but they give it right back. Now Samuel Salgado. A.J. King flicks it ahead. Boy, a lot of contact there. Mejia hit the deck. A whistle comes. A little bit late, but I think appropriately.
Yeah, Mala, he got his head on the ball. There's no question about that, but he just did go in with his shoulder first, and I can see why that's a foul.
Like maybe even might have extended the forearm a little bit.
Yeah, the shoulder went to the face, actually. So here's a very dangerous situation. I think it's probably Salgado again. Last time, if I remember right, he brought a save out of Williams. Or maybe it went over the crossbar.
It hit the football crossbar.
The football crossbar. So let's see how he does this time, because it's around about the same spot.
And again, just a little too high, even higher than last time.
Yeah, this time he tried to bend it and place it, and just got a little bit too much height. He knows it. He'd like to have another go at that again, I think. He's disappointed. Yeah, so he just tries to in-foot it, inside foot, to get it over the wall and dip it down, but got too much on it. And like you say, field goal.
It's good.
It's good, 3 points.
Fortunately, that's not the way it works until after 7 here tonight. Football team will kick off against Lee Summit North here on Spectrum Sports. That's coming up next. 2.5 minutes left in this one. Unless Oak Park can get an equalizer.
And now Blue Springs really just needs to keep the ball, and if anything, put it in behind the back 4 of Oak Park, or back 3 now. But just gave a ball away again, which gives Oak Park the opportunity to come and attack and have another attempt.
King, a little out battles him for it. Wallace came up to help. He's going to stay with the Wildcats. Both teams played an overtime match earlier this week. Blue Springs won in overtime. Oak Park got a late equalizer, which maybe we'll see again with mere seconds to play against Staley, but then lost in overtime 3-2.
Yeah, I think we were saying like 7 or 8 seconds before the final whistle, so don't count them out yet.
I might give them a little confidence to not give up before this one's completely done. No scoring here in the second half. All 3 goals came in the first half. Blue Springs jumped out 2-0 before Cole Kaler was able to draw Oak Park within 1. They have gotten no closer. We're down nearly to the final minute. Wallace kind of whiffed, and a foul is called. Break there for Oak Park as Salamis got just a little too physical in the referee's eyes. Salgado sends it into the box. Headed straight down by Oak Park. Now Salgado heads it back in. Dangerous, just hanging right at the top of the box. Now Marco Salgado with the ball at his feet. He'll turn and fire. Hit high into the air. Headed down and triples into the goal. Are you kidding me with 23 seconds left?
Dear. Blue Springs had several opportunities to clear that ball, and we had probably 2 or 3 mishits. And give credit to Oak Park there. They just kept on putting the ball, and that's great play there. But there's one more mishit, and then just hits him on the forehead. And unfortunately, he's crept between the fullback and the goalkeeper, and we have a tied game.
How about that? Cole Kaler with his second goal of the game. And this one is the equalizer for the second time this week. They tied it up in the final seconds.
Well, these two teams going back to overtime.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hear the public address announcer counting us down, and that will end regulation time. We played 80 minutes. Oak Park battled for about 50 minutes to try and tie the game up, and they finally, late in this one, able to score it. A unique header there. Kaler bouncing it into the ground and score.
A great ball in by Salgado just to keep it busy, and unfortunately the clearance was a miss hit, and the ball just spinning in the air. Kaler got his head on it, and it just spun between the left fullback and the goalkeeper, and kind of a fluky goal, but you got to give him credit for being there, and you got to give credit for Oak Park for keeping it alive and putting it in that area where things happen. And it happened for them this time with 23 seconds left. So, I mean, congratulations for them, but it's got to be hugely disappointing for Blue Springs, because overall you would probably say Blue Springs has been the better team and probably deserved the victory, but now they're going to go into overtime again, and anything's up here for grabs.
So the leading goal scorers for these two teams, Carlos Lamas and Cole Kaler, each coming up with 2 goals for their team today. And they're the only scoring of the day so far. We'll come back with overtime, 2-2 at the end of regulation. Oak Park and Blue Springs tied up at 2. Oak Park earlier this week with 7 or 8 seconds left, equalized against Staley, lost in overtime. They do it again with 23 seconds this time. Let's take another look as Cole Kaler's header off a ball that goes high in the air. A deflection by Barajas. Sent it straight into the air, and then Kaler able to get his forehead on it, bounce it hard into the ground. Right between the defender and the goalkeeper, it slips into the net. Incredible goal for Cole Kaler. Incredible circumstances for Oak Park.
Yeah, he probably didn't know too much about that header. All he thought was, oh, I'm going to get my head on it and see what happens. And I think the spin of the clearance was going round so fast that when it hit him, it took off with pace and just snuck between the goalkeeper and the left fullback. And yeah, Kaler looks up, and all of a sudden the ball's in the back of the net.
We saw Salgado with a couple of free kicks from about 25 yards out have some decent opportunities, but correct me if I'm wrong, that was the first ball on frame in the second half for Oak Park, and it ends up being the equalizer.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't remember anything other than the 2 free kicks, but that's the game of soccer, you know. They, like we talked about at the start of the half, they changed the formation to stay in the game. They stayed in the game, and then with 23 seconds left, they come away. I mean, he changed the lineup maybe in the last 6 minutes to go 2 forwards, and I guess it paid off.
So now we'll play a 10-minute period, and it is a golden goal situation.
All right, and it looks like Coach Howard has stayed with 3 at the back, and he's going to play that 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. So it worked for 6 minutes, so he's going to stay with it.
Blue Springs an overtime winner. Lamas with a free kick goal to beat Raytown earlier this week. And Oak Park, as we just mentioned, lost to Staley in overtime. Both teams with their second overtime match of the week. Blue Springs just one win coming into this year the last 2 seasons. 0-19 a year ago. Already 2 wins to start this season. I saw a quote in the paper. Coach Palermo talked about trying to remake their schedule a little bit and allow his team to gain some confidence early, and they did get a decisive win against Pleasant Hill early in the season, 7-0. They also got that overtime win against Raytown. Played Blue Springs South, a good club, a lot tougher than they had the last couple of years.
Yeah, one of the toughest things, and I'll vouch for this as I'm coach of the girls soccer team, is our conference is not the easiest conference.
Right.
It's probably the hardest conference in Missouri. So when you play, 10 games of that, then it's a tough season to go through our conference.
I think for both clubs, this has ended up being a very good matchup. Both these teams are clearly pretty evenly matched as we played 80-plus minutes, and we're tied at 2. Point at this time of year is to just get better. Both teams can look at some things to work on and some things that they're happy to have improved upon.
Absolutely. And right now, I guess the happy team I would think is Oak Park. The disappointed team would be Blue Springs as of right now, but that can all change right here. That's a great, unlucky. What a great pass, great run by Malawat. Just missed Luton by half a yard maybe. If he would have got that touch on there, that could have been the game winner. Great run. The boy's got a lot of pace, does that Alex Malawat, and that's a beautiful ball. Unfortunately ran away on that turf, which is probably a little slick with the rain too.
And Lubin almost looked like he could have got it if it had the right foot going forward at the time.
Yeah, you might have been right. Yep, you might be right.
Instead, it's a corner for Blue Springs. Headed across the end line, and I think we'll do it again is the call. Last touch by Oak Park.
So they had a good opportunity first half when they went 4 players on the line. They're now going, I think, 3 or 4 at the top of the box and just 1 on that line.
Fetchel will trigger the corner kick. Right at the feet of Lamas. Lamas had some room to turn, didn't really know it. Playing a little give and go with Lubin and almost turned into something for Blue Springs, but Lawson able to come up and scoop it up for Oak Park.
Yeah, good skills, good attempt at the combination, but not a lot of room to do it in there. And unfortunately, when you got 4 or 5 players in there, it's hard to split on that give and go. But nice attempt.
Now here's the guy that Oak Park wants to see with the ball at his feet, Cole Kaler. Good challenge there by Blue Springs, but it's going to go out of bounds. Throw it into Lara, who had the ball there. He was challenged, and now he's going to send a shot towards goal, but sends it wide.
Not a bad attempt there. Just a little off target, but he's got the right idea. Just takes one play in overtime, and you put it in the back of the net, and the game's over, so why not pull the trigger there? Good effort.
Lubin has it go right over his head. Hia now challenging. Haney will throw it in for Blue Springs. Pinkerton will chase it down for Oak Park. Lamas is right there on his tail.
Yeah, Pinkerton's got to be careful giving away possession there, especially when you're giving it to Carlos Lamas, probably the most dangerous player on the field for Blue Springs. But fortunately, he couldn't get it under control, and Pinkerton avoided that.
So now Lubin in the corner. Send a ball in, but right at Lawson, who's able to corral it cleanly. Wallace running through some contact, able to keep possession. Kind of pirouetted, and it's taken away by Haney.
Oh. Way to be there, Marcus.
Vincel can't bring that one down. Be a throw for Oak Park. Played more than half of the first overtime period.
Away! Lay it off! Pass! Goal!
Taylor weaving through traffic. Sends it out wide for Mejia. And it'll be an Oak Park throw in deep in Blue Springs into the field.
Anytime that ball's at Kayla's feet, there's always something going on. He creates a lot of havoc. Now he's over there to take the throw.
Once we get it set up and going,
Kaler will send it in.
okay, because
Send it across the inline, up and over the crossbar.
That was a good attempt, but unfortunately couldn't get it in the area which was looking for. Was probably just around the 6-yard box, hoping that one of his players were running in there to finish.
Lubin sends it in, but his pass missed everybody and got all the way to Lawson in goal. Under 3 minutes to play. Tied at 2 in our first overtime. Taken away by Haney. Lamas chasing it down, tripped over the leg of an Oak Park defender. That was Salgado right there, Marco Salgado. Crowd wanted something. Don't think there was much there.
No, there was no foul there at all whatsoever. So right now there's a lot of turnovers going on. No one team really is getting possession of it and get to play they want to play. Some of that is because of good defensive work, some of that's because of sloppy passing, but we're really looking for one team to get a hold of the ball, to create that one opportunity, one clear-cut opportunity to win this game. And if I was those players, I'd be looking to get the ball into key players such as Kayla for Oak Park and probably Lamas as Blue Springs, because they're probably the players that are going to make something magical happen here in overtime.
Samuel Salgado deflects right to Kaler. He has it poked away, got it back. Now Salgado sends it over to the right side, and King one-on-one.
Nice skills by King.
Working against Hines, but now Hines gets it and sends it up towards Lamas. Out to Lubin. Blue Springs trying to get some transition going. Lubin plays it back instead. His ball ahead, a little too high for Rafat. Now Lamas right near the near boundary. Rafat play it in, but nobody there for Blue Springs. And we're down to the final minute of our first overtime.
Again, good idea, but the execution of the layoff wasn't quite there, and ball gets turned over. Fortunately, the Oak Park player kicks it out of bounds, and Blue Springs still has an opportunity with 40 seconds left, and it looks like it's going to be Fencer with that long throw to Mohamed Rafat. See if he can get a flick on this.
It's King that gets a head on it and flicks it.
It's a great flick, but there's nobody in behind to attack it.
Final seconds of our first overtime.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And we remain tied at 2.
It's amazing how quick that 10 minutes goes when you're in overtime. Didn't go very quick in the last 10 minutes of the game for Blue Springs, but in overtime it just flies by, and you're really looking for one clear opportunity to get the win.
So we'll step aside and come back with overtime number 2. Blue Springs and Oak Park tied at 2 on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Two to 2, Oak Park and Blue Springs all tied up. Blue Springs got a couple of penalty kick goals in the first half to jump in front 2-0. Carlos Lamas with 2 almost identical penalty kick tries.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a replay of the first one or is it the second one.
I don't think we'll be able to tell. I don't
Really
think we'll be able to tell. But Oak Park able to come back. Cole Kaler, a little toe poke there. About 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. And we did not score again until 23 seconds left in the second half. Cole Kaler got his head on it and able to put it home for the equalizer. There's the 2 stars of the game so far. Lamas first and Kaler now for Oak Park. One of those guys find the back of the net once more for their team.
Lamas already did it once this week against Raytown. Unfortunately for Oak Park, they were on the losing end of an overtime game this week. So let's see what happens in this game.
Both those games were 3-2, and that's, if we get a game-winning goal here in the final overtime, that'll be our score here today.
Good idea by Carlos Lamas, but unfortunately took his eye off the ball for a second and completely missed it.
Now here's Kaler, surrounded by a trio of Blue Springs players.
And as good as he's played tonight, he needs to be surrounded by a trio of Blue Springs players because he's been very, very good on the ball, as we see right there. That's tremendous.
Drawing a lot of attention, and a great ball forward from Mejia. Mejia slips down. Now Oak Park a chance to maybe set something up here. Salgado gives himself a little room, but then had it taken away.
Good defending there by Logan Bradley. Stopped Salgado going in and then quickly gets the foul, and now's an opportunity for Blue Springs to attack. Unfortunately, gives the ball away. Some good and some not so good all together there.
Samuel Salgado with his teammates calling at him for the ball.
Great hustle there by Hines for Blue Springs.
Throw kind of missed King. He was unable to get much on it. Blue Springs is able to take it back. Here comes Lamas. Oh, great through ball. Just a little too far out in front. I don't think that Dom Zubek really got on his horse right there from the start. Might have been able to chase that one down. What Kaler's skill is impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been very good tonight. Very good indeed.
Get down, Johnny, get down. Run on horse. Gotta go.
Salgado finding Kaler once again in the middle. Kaler and Lamas going one-on-one. Here's King in a dangerous spot, and he is able to put it home. And Oak Park
Goal. Oak Park. Final score. Oak Park 3.
Talked about creating one opportunity. Oak Park is the team that did it, and they're going to walk away with a 3-2 overtime victory here over Blue Springs with a great finish there by King.
Well, you said it, just that fast it can happen. Lightning strikes, a great play by Kaler, and King was wide open.
Yeah, it was a good finish because keeper came out, and just as he came out, that's when King toe poked it. So the keeper wasn't ready for him to shoot right there, and that's a great finish. Poked it away into the far post, and congratulations to Oak Park.
So A.J. King able to put it home for Oak Park, his first goal of the day. And it's going to be the Northmen who come out of Blue Springs with a victory. Final thoughts from you, Doug McLagan.
That was a very entertaining, very good game. I think probably the biggest thing was, how it changed to go 5 in midfield that stopped Blue Springs. It could have been 3-4, 1 at halftime, but he stopped them playing that way and kept them in the game. And in the last 23 seconds, that's why he did it.
King's first goal of the year. Cole Kaler got goals number 3 and 4. Carlos Lamas got goals 5 and 6 on penalty kicks in the first half for Blue Springs. They were unable to make a 2-0 lead stand up. That will be a sore spot for Michael Palermo and his squad. They had the early lead, unable to make it stand up as Oak Park scores with 23 seconds left to send it in overtime, and in double overtime, it's A.J. King with the winner for the Northmen. For our entire Spectrum Sports crew, my partner Doug McLagan, Nick McCabe saying so long from Blue Springs. We do hope you'll stay with us for part 2 of our Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week doubleheader as the Blue Springs Wildcats and Lee Summit North will play football coming up here in about an hour. Hope you'll stay with us then on Spectrum Sports.